Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Christina, also known as Neepy Gal, and I make vlogs and fun videos on here. If you want, you can check me out on all my social media as well as Snapchat. Today I'm going to educate you a little bit by teaching you how to eat your sushi. I'm half Japanese, and my favorite food is on this plate right in front of me. It's sushi, obviously. Pretty big sushi connoisseur. I love eating fish. It's delicious. I love it. It's great. It's expensive. I'm addicted to it. Over the years, I've noticed that being in America and trying to find good sushi restaurants here, eating sushi is kind of an interesting experience over in America. I haven't been to the East Coast, but I know the West Coast generally better Asian food from what I've heard. So a couple things I've noticed myself is it's kind of harder to find very traditional sushi restaurants. A lot of the stuff over here is like deep fried rolls covered in mayonnaise and spicy sauce and things like that. That's cool, but if you want like the real experience, I would try to go find a super legit Japanese sushi bar with a Japanese sushi chef, and that serves mostly nigiri and sashimi style sushi. To put it lightly, today I'm going to show you the proper way to eat some sushi. First things first, ordering, getting into a restaurant, all that stuff. If you're going to go sit at a sushi bar with a sushi chef, it's weird, but it's customary to show a little bit of respect towards the sushi chef. He's making some beautiful art for you, so it's good to be nice to him. I've seen some people be not super nice to sushi chefs before, and it usually doesn't go well for anyone. Also, a couple things to keep in mind. Sushi and sashimi are different. Sushi has rice underneath, and sashimi is just the raw fish. So, a couple of things. Do your research before you walk in. If you're gonna order sushi and you're not in a hurry, the best way to eat it is to order a little bit at a time. So you order one thing and then you order the next. That way it sort of stays fresh. And then you kind of want to order from lighter flavor to heavier flavor. So like whitefish, and then salmon, and then fatty tuna. If you're kind of in a hurry and can't do that, I would highly recommend ordering something like chirashi, which is just a bunch of sashimi over rice. It's great. I order that all the time. I love it. Another great dining option with sushi is omakase style. Omakase is chef's choice. That means the chef picks your food. There's no changing it. There's no requests. The chef picks what you eat. And generally, you should be eating everything that the chef gives you. If you're kind of picky, I would not suggest omakase, but if you're super daring and you just want to eat everything, I would highly recommend omakase sushi. It's a fun way to experience it. If you're gonna order some drinks with your sushi, generally don't drink soda or wine. I would stick with sake, beer, or green tea, as those are the best. If you have chopsticks that come apart, like these, and you separate them, the last thing you want to do is go like this in front of anyone who works at the restaurant. It's usually considered rude in Japan, so I would just avoid it. Probably just split it and then you're done. Alright, so you ordered your fish, you have it. Where do you even start, right? I'm gonna show you how to use your wasabi, your ginger, and your soy sauce the right way. First off, you don't want to overdo it on the soy sauce. A little bit is enough. You can see how much I have in there. With wasabi, you don't want to overdo it. One big no-no is you're actually not supposed to take your wasabi and then dip it in your soy sauce and mix it up until it becomes like a poopy brown consistency. So you're going to want to put your wasabi on top of the fish before you dip it into the soy sauce. So you're just going to smear it on very lightly. And you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to use the wasabi so much that your nose is all, oh, and you feel it, and you get that weird wasabi brain freeze. I don't even know how to describe it. This next part, I'm going to show you how to do this. It's a little bit tricky with chopsticks, so I'm going to tell you this beforehand. It is okay to use your hands to eat sushi, actually. More so than a fork. If you're not very chopstick proficient, just use your hands. Just get like a wet wipe. Please use your hands, don't use a fork. I cringe every time someone eats a piece of sushi with a fork. Ultimately, it's your choice, but this is the right way to do it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your piece of nigiri right here, and you're gonna flip it over. You're gonna flip it over like this. And the correct way is to actually dip the fish, not the rice, into the soy sauce. And like so, your fish has been dipped in the soy sauce, and look at that. None of that spilling, and you can eat it right up. Mmm. Mmm. Now that is some delicious salmon. But what's this ginger for? The ginger is actually more of a palate cleanser, and some people like eat the ginger like it's candy, and I'm totally guilty of doing that too. This is actually a palate cleanser, so you're supposed to eat it in between the fish you're gonna eat, not like together, not dipped in the soy sauce. It's a palate cleanser. Another thing to keep in mind when you're eating sushi is how much it's gonna cost and the quality of the fish. So if you go somewhere cheap like Sushi Land, the quality of the fish is not gonna be that great. Sometimes not all the fish that they buy is not actually accurate. Sometimes fish gets mislabeled. It's very, very common for fish to get mislabeled, especially things like snapper, amberjack, I think hamachi, I don't know, a lot of stuff. Another sushi fish you should kind of be careful of is called escolar. At proper sushi places, they probably won't serve this fish, but it's also called like buttery fish or white tuna. It's like white fish, straight up white fish. If you eat too much of it, you're gonna have a bad time, and which is why it's banned in a lot of countries. Kind of find it in sushi shops here in the US, so I would just be kind of careful in case, you know, someone in your party doesn't know and thinks this stuff is delicious. If you are looking for a sushi restaurant in your area, I would definitely try out places like that have like izakaya or family-owned restaurants. If you go in there and you see a lot of Japanese people, it's probably a good sign.